Welcome to Goon Squad Anime, where we talk about all the anime that you're going to be watching. I'm Ron from Chicago.
I'm MC2K.
I'm Asian Nick.
Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to mention one of the hidden gems of this season. This one is called Darwin's Game. It's a new anime. So far, it's only one episode on Crunchyroll. The first episode is called First Game. So this one, it's kind of crazy anime where pretty much it's a fight to the death for the most part. You get a little notification on your phone about a little free-to-play game. You decide to, let me hit this free-to-play game real fast. You start playing the game, a little snake comes out, gives you a little snake bite.
It's not a little snake bite, it bites you in the freaking neck.
Yeah. So, and he passed out from it though.
Yes.
Yeah. So the main character, Kaname, he passes out from the snake bite. When he wakes up, he has a new power. So everyone who starts playing the game gets a sigil, which entails gives them powers.
Yes, and every player has a unique sigil, so they have a unique power. So Kaname, when he doesn't realize his powers till later into the episode, but his friend Kyoto has basically, it's like he's got the predator sigil where you can see in that infrared.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was like, so that was definitely convenient.
Yeah.
They held him against the bandit with the mascot bandit when he was fighting, who has an invisibility sigil.
Right.
Combat wise, that's stupid though.
Yeah.
You can't do anything with that. You can see people, but not everybody turns invisible, so that's stupid.
I mean, yeah.
It's like a.
But at least if they were hiding like Predator, I mean, if they're hiding behind stuff, you could see their aura.
It's a fake Byakugan. That's all it is.
I mean, yeah, it helped you plan out attacks, but like it's not super like useful in combat.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and bring it back to the beginning of the episode. We start off with his friend Hamada is getting chased by a panda mascot, and you don't really know why. And then he calls
Kaname.
Yeah, Haname. And then, but we don't even know why. He never really says why he decides to use his lifeline basically to call him to help him out.
Why would you call a person who has nothing to do with the game?
Right.
Yeah, he could have called the other guy.
Yeah, Kyoto. He could have called his friend Kyoto that plays the game, but for whatever reason, he just. He
probably would have lived if he would have called somebody that was like, experienced and like knew like how to play.
Right.
He probably could have beat the guy and he started him living.
Right. So he dies. The next day, Kyoto's looking for Hamada and realizes that he probably died, and that then Haname opens up the text message basically that has the link to the app to the game. And he opens it, and Kyoto's like, "Don't!" And that's when he gets bit by the snake.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't want to listen.
Right.
He's like, "It's free to play," and he's had to play anyway.
Yeah. And so then, Kyoto tells him, "Hey," after he passes out and he wakes back up from the nurse's office, and that's where we kind of we get a first hint of what his sigil powers are, but you truly don't know what it is yet. And then Kyoto tells him, "Hey, go straight home. I'll meet you up tonight, and I'll explain this game to you." And of course, being stupid,
he's like,
I'm gonna go sing karaoke.
He's like, "I'm gonna sing karaoke with my friends. I ain't listening to you."
So then he hops on the train to go back home, and he's like, "Oh, let me see what this free-to-play game is all about." He opens it up. And all of a sudden, it shows that he's accepted a challenge to fight someone, and it's the local team's mascot, baseball mascot, which is a panda. So you just see this dude in a panda outfit. I don't know. You don't see him on the train, so it doesn't really explain how he actually got on the train. If somehow he teleported into the thing,
and the fact that he can be invisible, so he could have it's easy for him to get on there without us knowing.
That's true. He could have. So then he accepts the fight, and they start fighting, and it's just a crazy ass fight.
Yeah. The fact that he still couldn't like activate his powers even during like that stressful time.
But he didn't know.
He watched the guy with a knife walk up to him and try to kill him. He was like, "The guy has a knife." And he just
starts running like a little bee.
Like, he's coming closer to me.
He didn't start thinking about sigils until after he kills him. And then as he's dying, like in the pixelation or whatever,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm unlucky. I lost to a punk who didn't even know how to use a sigil."
He's like, I don't know what
And
a
then
sigil
it almost
is.
like sigil, and then it's not until he talks to old girl, to
Right.
Shita.
And then
finds out.
Kyoto tries to help him out during this fight, but winds up getting stabbed by the panda dude.
Yeah.
And then eventually winds up tells Haname to leave him, and who winds up later you find out he winds up dying. But it's interesting on the deaths because when you die, you're basically 8-bit blocks.
Yeah.
You know, your 8-bit block taken piece by piece away from you, and then it leaves like
A little butterfly.
yeah,
What a crappy way to die, though.
yeah, very.
It's not even like you just leave. No, take your leg, take another piece, take another piece, take another
yeah.
piece.
So, and then once you actually, I guess, to win the match, they either have to die or
Have no points.
run out of time and
Yeah.
you accumulate the most points, or they can surrender if they have enough points. But you don't find out
That to the end.
that till another fight that he has with Shuka.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting because I guess when you win, you get the points, and then you have a chance to get what's called gotcha items, which can be free items. So, with him winning that fight, he gets a gotcha item, and that gotcha item gives him a gun, basically. And all of a sudden, he accepts the gotcha item. He sees he gets a gun, and all of a sudden, at his door, he hears something, and it gets dropped off. He gets a gun right away. So, it's kind of interesting how this all works and they don't really explain everything, but hopefully soon, within the next episodes, they'll start explaining more.
Yeah, because so far we only see we see his sigil, we see Shuka, and we see this other random clan that's going around just massacring mafia members or whatever.
Right. So with this app, you also can join clans. So we get introduced to, I guess it's going to be this season's villain, which is the 8th clan. And they're just very ruthless. And you see this, they cut off people's fingers and then they pickle the people's fingers and drink the juice later, I guess, as some kind of ritual thing, which is very weird. But they do mention like 2 other clans, and one was like a bank, and one was I forgot what the other one was, but it was just kind of like randomness clans that you can join.
Because they were going to attack them at first, and he was
Right.
like, no, we got to show the people that we're trying to protect this area first before we start moving out.
Yeah.
And then we also had the girl at the end that's watching all the monitors, all the screens.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to sell information. Like, I want to know what her role is. Like, does she have like any interest other than the information in the game?
Right.
Yeah, because she doesn't seem like a player. She's more of like a monitor.
Yeah.
Where she just watches everything.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is how does she know that these people are fighting?
Yeah.
And how does she know to monitor them? So it's kind of interesting that we don't find out what her name is yet. She just sees Haname and Shuka fighting, and she realizes that he has, a unique sigil, and that she could use that information to sell to other players. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. But speaking of the Shuka and Haname fight, she tells him that, she wants to help him out, but she has to make sure that he's proven worthy of her help. And so at first she's like, hey, what's your sigil? And he doesn't realize what his sigil is. And she's like, hey, check within the app and it'll let you know. So he does that, and for whatever reason it says error unknown. So he has some kind of unique sigil that I guess the game itself doesn't even know about, which is crazy to me. But
so I think he's the first one who's had that sigil.
Yeah.
Like everything's like randomized, but he's the first one to have it. So let's say Shuka, like when hers first came out, it was unknown, and then once she used it and then another person gets it, and then it's okay, cool, so these people have this one, these people have this one. So I feel like once his has a title for it, the next person who gets it is not going to be unknown. It's just he's the first one with it.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, for Shuka's, hers is that she can control like these chains that have like a spear tip at the end, and she can control them like snakes, basically.
Yeah. So I thought it was telekinesis at first, and I was like, that don't sound right. Because then she could just pull them over to him.
Right.
I was like, nah, that's kind of.
So we're going with his sigils as being creation. It's like, or he can copy.
He can
copy.
Yeah. So I guess it's replicate.
Yeah.
Would be.
Replicate,
And so I believe that he has to touch the physical object first, and anything he touches, he can replicate.
Yeah.
So since and then so during him and Shuka's fight, she basically forces it out of him because she tells him that like, hey, you should be able to use your sigil like, you know, effortlessly. Like it should be as normal as like breathing, basically. And so he finally realized, like, he thinks deep down, like, oh, what can I use? And finally, you know, he uses his sigil, and basically his sigil, he replicates the gun that he gets. But he left that gun at home. Yeah. And so he's like, how did I get it? And then he realizes that how he can actually use his powers. And so basically he winds up defeating Shuka. But at the end, he's like, hey, I don't want to kill you. How do we end this without killing? Because I want us both to live. And so she's like, basically, I have to surrender and, you know, you'll get part of my points. So it looks like you don't have to kill the other person to win. They have to basically surrender to you and have the points to surrender to you. Because if you basically lose all your points, you die no matter what.
Yeah.
So death causes you to lose all your points, while surrendering you lose half or whatever.
I don't know if it's half. She didn't really say how many. She said you just get a certain amount of points. You get a little bit of my points. So maybe the next episode he actually sees how many points he gets.
So is that how like, could that be how like clans work or whatever? Like you surrender to that person
and
now.
You start following them.
Yeah, right. So now you're their follower.
That may be a part of it.
Yeah.
Is that how you?
I know because she talks about that. You know, I'm gonna surrender. I surrender, and I am at his will now. Yeah. Like basically his slave. So it doesn't really go into that. So so hopefully in these next episodes we get to know more about the game too, because it seems like maybe by the points you earn, you can do different things within the app, because you saw her is that she controlled the lights to the building that they were fighting in. She could control the door, and you know it looks like she's all doing that from the app. But I don't know if you can spend points to do that or what. It doesn't really explain everything, but hopefully we find out what more about that and how the app works.
Yeah, I think next week they're gonna cover like. She's gonna explain to him everything that goes on with the game,
and we also need to see when what happens when the time runs out. We still haven't seen that.
Yeah, because so far it's always been the other person dies or something.
No. So on the Panda one, that the time ran out, and that's how he won.
Oh yeah, when he started, like when he was.
It alerted him. That it ran out, and I guess. So I guess the other guy.
So if you're the one if you're the one that initiates the challenge and you don't get your kill within the time limit, you die. Is that what happened?
See, that's why I don't know. Well, they don't really explain it, because I think the time ran out on his first fight.
Yeah. Because even Koda said you just gotta survive.
If you noticed on the app, he got more points than the other dude. So I think if you can survive the time and somehow accumulate points while doing it, it looked like damage. How much damage he took.
So that's why they give him the W.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I mean,
that makes sense now.
We'll put an asterisk next to that win.
Yeah.
That's not a real win.
Because
most of the damage came from his friend. Like, he didn't do the damage.
Exactly.
And him getting hit by a car, but we're not going to talk about that.
So, we'll chalk that first dub to put an asterisk next to it.
Right.
Not a real win.
It's not, but how we always say a win's a win.
Dub's a dub. That's how it works.
Also, that's interesting, too, is throughout the series, you see these random butterflies, and what do you think the significance of those butterflies are?
So I think that's gonna be like the calling card of the game. I think you know the game is activated, but only people who can see it are people who are in the game.
Yeah.
So to outside world, they don't see anything or even notice it. But everyone who's part of it, they're gonna be like, oh, there's a game over there. There's a game over there. Or they can intervene however they see fit.
Or maybe it's like linked to the creator, like who the creator is.
That's what I'm thinking, is that maybe that's the creator's call sign, or that's the creator actually watching what's going on throughout the game.
I guess I can see that. I don't like it, but I guess I can see it.
Yeah, well, we'll find out the more we watch. So hopefully that they start explaining more
Well, they
throughout
got
the
to.
episodes. Yeah,
'Cause
I know.
The only thing he was waiting for was for her, because she knows a lot about the game. It seems for her.
Yeah, she'll probably tell him a little bit more.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's probably a really high ranked player.
And she caught a lot of bodies so far.
Yeah.
Between her and the 8th Clan, they've been massacring a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
so I'm pretty sure this next episode we're gonna learn everything we need to about the game, and it shouldn't be like anything random. After that point.
Yeah. Do y'all think? Do you think Haname's gonna be OP?
Eventually, I mean, he's the main character. It has to be that way.
He can only copy stuff, so I mean, you're still limited to what you can do. To be honest.
But I think he'll probably find some way to like make those weapons. Like he'll go from copying things to being able like to enhance or something.
Right.
They always give him something extra to be better.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just kind of useless.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because he has nothing he's learned besides stun gun, flashlight.
Well, he got a pistol.
Yeah.
He's like, he can pull out the pistol. He just.
But like Shuka said, it was like just because you have a cool fancy weapon doesn't mean you're any good.
I mean, it's better than what that one dude had. He just look at stuff, so that's stupid.
Yeah, that's true. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. Look forward to next week's episode of Darwin's Game.
Don't forget, I'm Rome from Chicago.
MC2K.
I'm Asian Nick. I'll catch you next episode.
Cue the theme music.